Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, wherever you are in the globe. Today, the 21st of July, 2024, you are welcome to the global Zoom meeting at the instance of the Comrade Show to interrogate and have a time with the deputy governorship candidate of the Labour Party, no other but Prince Alhaji Yusuf Asamah Kadiri, SAN. Ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be a very entertaining evening where we shall be engaging with the number 2 man, craving to be the number 2 man in charge of Edo State come November 2024. Without further much ado, I'm going to call on Comrade Lante Kponsa Ariaki, the CNC of the Comrade Show, to lay the ground rules just before we start. Comrade Lante, please.
Thank you very much, Comrade Pharmacist Austin Iremira. Yes, greetings to you, Edo State people and Nigerians across the world. I want to thank you most especially for finding time to be part of this meeting. There isn't much ado. I just want to establish that please, if you are joining us and you want to ask a question at any time, please just do so by raising your Zoom hand. And of course, we will recognize that, acknowledge you, and bring you on at some point to ask your question. Your time to ask your question, you shall have 30. You shall have 90 seconds, not more than that. We expect civility. We expect everybody to, as much as possible, be civil. This is a very very friendly interaction. It's all about Edo State. Whoever you support, it doesn't matter. What is most important is that we get it right for Edo State to be, better for all of us, and that is why we are having this engagement. So we expect, everybody to be civil. We expect orderliness. Everybody is muted, but we shall, allow you to unmute yourself when it's your time to ask a question. We equally expect everybody to put on their cameras. It's important. And if your device is not properly named, please name your device, properly so that we can address you, properly as well. And if these things are not followed and you intend to ask your question, we may not accept if you don't follow, these rules of engagement. We also reserve the right, if anybody is, unruly, we reserve the right to take the person out of this meeting. This is a very progressive meeting, and all we want is, proper interrogation of the candidates. We believe very strongly that anybody, or group of persons that have agreed to say they want to vie for public office, it's important we interrogate them. And that's what this meeting is about. And it's important, too, that we follow the rules of engagement. One of such rules is that we expect everybody to put on their video so that we don't take them out of this meeting. Importantly, I want to equally establish so that we don't have any barriers. We want everybody to, participate, fully. Please, this meeting not be only better English we're going to speak. If you are comfortable saying a pidgin English you want to speak, I beg speak on. The important thing be say make the message come out. Me when they hear so I not sabi speak English, but this pidgin, like Olumide talk, I the first thing for pidgin before they try to come talk for English. So just so we are comfortable, may we understand, see, no barriers. Anything we feel speak, may we speak, and provided we understand each other. So pidgin English is fully allowed. And Oga, Yusuf Kadiri don't assure say himself, he not be small picking for that area. He himself the thing for pidgin himself before I go speak for Queen's English. So my people, now so the matter there at the moment. If anything comes up, I will let you know. But I equally want to quickly, just say we get Bumi inside this house. Bumi Idomo, she's one of our co-hosts. When it be at some point, now even hear her voice. So now so the matter be at the moment. I honestly am glad to welcome you guys to this meeting. Over to you, Comrade Pharmacist.
Thank you so much, CNC, Comrade Lante Kponsa Ariaki. Like Lamte said, you are all welcome. We know the ground rules. Today is not for myself or himself to talk. It's for us to hear from the candidate himself, our principal. Without further ado, can I ask our principal to unmute himself? Fantastic. Sir, the world want to know you. Who is Alhaji Prince Yusuf Asamah Kadiri, SAN.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here. Once again, my name is Yusuf Asamah Kadiri. I'm a lawyer, a senior advocate of Nigeria, and I am a Nigerian citizen of Edo State extraction. I am an indigene of Auchi Sacred Kingdom. Auchi historically is the capital of Edo North, then the old Kukuruku division. And I'm from, ancestrally, from the Ikelebe royal house, both on my paternal and maternal side. My paternal family is Kadiri royal family, and my maternal family is Momo royal family. I studied law in the University of Benin, my first degree, and I did my master's degree in law, LLM, in Boston University in School of Law in the United States of America in Massachusetts, where I obtained my LLM in international business law. Then I also studied arbitration under the auspices of the Chartered of Arbitrators, United Kingdom, and Keble College, Oxford University, where I did my advanced practice diploma in international commercial arbitration. And then I sat for the fellowship exams of the Chartered of Arbitrators, United Kingdom, and I specialized in international commercial arbitration. And I'm also an accredited international commercial mediator, trained and certified by the Center for Effective Dispute Resolution in United Kingdom. I've been in law practice from the day I was called to the bar, let me say about 30 years ago now. And I was conferred with the prestigious rank of Senior Advocate of Nigeria in 2020, which is the highest rank of distinction in the legal profession in Nigeria, equivalent to the King's Counsel in the United Kingdom. In summary, that is me. Apart from my professional life, I have been a spirited community development enthusiast, and for which I pitched tent with the Umbrella Sociocultural Club in Edo North, Fiscal Club 81. I've been a member there for several years, and I've also been involved in leadership in Fiscal Club 81. And I rose through the ranks. I had served as legal advisor, national legal advisor, and then I served as general secretary. I served as second vice president. I served as first vice president, and then I served as president worldwide of Fiscal Club 81, 2017 to 2019. The reason I pitched in Fiscal Club 81, Fiscal Club 81, I found it as a sociocultural pressure group committed to the economic development, educational development, and sociocultural development of the Isako Ipo and Isako lands. And through that platform, we give our scholarships to indigenous students in all the 15 clans in Isako, Isako local government area. So that's the platform through which I have been giving out to the needy, and also doing a couple of other things. Then, of course, in my community in Auchi, I have been involved in a lot of initiatives that involve supporting the lowly placed people in the society. And then also, in conjunction with a couple of other leading figures in Edo North, we created the Amalgamated Afemai Forum, as a platform for helping to, mobilize for the war against insecurity in our homelands. And through that platform, I have been joining and contributing to supporting the battle against insecurity in Edo North through Amalgamated Afemai Forum, which the platform operated by that is Oduma Appreciation Squad. So I am the Yerima of our Sacred Kingdom. That's a traditional title, a highly royal traditional title conferred on me by the Otaro Fauci Sacred Kingdom, His Royal Highness Ikelebe III, Alhaji H.A. Momo, in 2021. The last holder of that title before it came to me was Prince Momo. Prince Tony Momo, the former Minister of Information and Culture, and who was also the former National Chairman of the Congress for Progressive Change. So upon his demise, the title was conferred on me. And that has given me enormous responsibilities culturally to always lead by examples, and to show my people proper direction on how to do things properly. Then at the professional level, I've been actively involved in the affairs of the Nigeria Bar Association. And over the years, since the past 10 years particularly, or 12 years, I've been a member of the National Executive Council of the Nigeria Bar Association. And I've also served consecutively in the Constitution Review Committee, 2017 to 2019, and 2020 to 2022, I was the chairman of the Constitution Review Committee, and I was reappointed into that role 2020 to 2024 currently, and my tenure is getting over now. And under me, NBA produced a revolutionary constitution in 2021 when Olumide Akpata was president, and which has paved the way for, giving a sense of belonging to all Nigerian lawyers, inclusivity, and opportunity for everyone to participate in the affairs of Nigeria Bar Association. It was authored by me, largely. So this is the summary about me. Then again, I've been a partner in one of the leading of commercial law firms in Nigeria, in Africa, Jackson Etienne, where I was a senior partner until I took an indefinite leave of absence in April to pursue my political ambition upon being nominated as the deputy governorship candidate of Labour Party. So team up with my dear brother Alfred Akpata, to see how we can rescue Edo State from the perilous state we find ourselves today, and move Edo State to the level of progress and prosperity. So that's a summary of my background. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prince Alhaji Yusuf Asamah Kadiri, Deputy Governorship Candidate of the Labour Party. Friends, viewers of the show, and those on our Zoom link, please get ready to ask your questions. I'll be going to Komelante to take his question, but I'm going to come back to our principal here today. That's a very robust introduction that you've given us, and you are a man that fits all. But there are three key things I want to ask that I think you missed out. One, you didn't tell us your date of birth, the primary school you went to, and indeed the secondary school you went to. I think that's very important. Please answer that, and Komelate, get ready with your questions, and we'll go straight to the Zoom floor.
Okay, you want to know that? Yes, I was born.
Yes, sir.
I was born on the 16th of April, 1969. So I'm 55 years old as of the moment, and I attended several schools because my parents were educationists. They are both gone now. My father taught in many of the secondary teachers training colleges and secondary schools in most parts of the old Bender states. So as his first son, I had to suffer being moved from one school to the other. So I started my primary school education at government primary school in Auchi, which is presently called Uchi Primary School, in 1974. And then upon my father moving over to Benin, I moved out, and then I had an interregnum, because before we could settle down in Benin, he was posted again to SCG College Abudu, SCG Teachers Training College Abudu, and we moved again. So, and I had to then, continue my primary school education at SCG Demonstration School, which is a primary school and next to the SCG Teachers Training College Abudu, and then just as I was finishing primary 5, my father again was transferred to the then northern part of Bender State as a school principal in 1979, 1980, first to Ibilo Grammar School. And as we were going there, less than 2 months, he was posted again to another location, Yiraku Grammar School. So, and my primary school education was dislocated again, but he had to bring me to Auchi. I then finished again at a government school, Uchi Primary School, where I had started in 1974. And then secondary education, I started Then under him, Yereku Grammar School in South Ibie, just for 1 year, and I was moved over to Bishop Grammar School in Akukwedo, and then for about 3 years, and then in Form 4, going to class 5 then. We used to do 5 years secondary school. Back then, I was moved to Auchi Comprehensive High School, so I did my school set there. And then I finished my secondary school education in 1986, and I had all my credits in one sitting. And then I went on to Federal School of Arts and Science, Sokoto, for my A-levels, back then called the HSC Higher School Certificates. And then I had a brief stint in University of Ilorin, where I was first studying public administration and political science. That was 1988-89. And then thereafter, when my A-level results came out and I realized I did excellently very well, I had to move on to studying law. And I was given admission both University of Lagos and University of Benin, but I chose University of Benin. And I went in there through direct entry. I studied law at University of Benin. So that is the summary of my history. And then I'm married to one wife. My wife is Dr. Emuna Kadiri. She's a medical doctor, a consultant, neuropsychiatrist, and psychotherapist. And we are blessed with 3 children. And, is there anything else I've missed out, sir?
No, I must say thank you very much. With what you've said, one can say, let us close shop and go home. And that is the reason why questions are very important. I don't know why you haven't put this in your campaign material. You have schooled the entire breadth and length of the old Bende State and now Edo State. And you've also taken your education across Nigeria. So you are a complete Nigerian by that. And I think that should be a serious campaign material going forward. Komelate Pausa Araki, time is fast spent. Your first question to the gentleman before we go to the Zoom floor.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, your resume, is quite intimidating. I am really, really pleased. But, sir, I want to ask you this question. What is your motivation, for joining this ticket? Could it have just said, when Olumide probably came calling to say, Asamah, I want you to be my running mate. Could it have just said, I'm not going to do? What did they motivate you to want to be the deputy governor of Edo State?
You see, first of all, Olumide and I, beyond politics, we've been friends and brothers for over 35 years now. Our lives crossed when we met at the University of Benin. He was a year ahead of me. But we did politics together, little politics back then in the Faculty of Law. We were both members of the LOSA Congress, which is the parliament of the Faculty of Law. And he was once our speaker. And then I was also president of ISACO Student Union, University of Benin, in 1991. And then, so over the years, after school, after law school, law practice life brought us together again, and our friendship became closer. And over the years, sometimes we find ourselves having to talk about the challenges, the parlor state of our nation, and the poor, the very perfunctory level of governance that we are served with, successively, both at the state government level, at local government level, and even at the national level. And we've reached a stage in our lives where we tell ourselves, you know what, we can't just be complaining, doing armchair criticism all the time. Those who are running their affairs and are running us down aground do not have 2 heads. And if we continue to sit in our comfort zones, then our destiny will continue to be determined by these characters who have seen themselves as overlords, and they run our country down, they run our state down, and all we see around us, especially me, I'm a community person. I'm very close to my community, and I am always involved in community development initiatives. And I have a feel of the level of poverty, the level of neglect, the level of deprivation, the level of disillusionment that our people are suffering. So we've always compared and shared notes. When Olumide decided to go into this project last year, I was one of the very first friends he came to talk to and sought my blessing. And of course, I gave him my blessing and support. Ab initio. So from that moment, I got involved, in the kitchen team of his aspiration, and through the process of his primaries, strategizing together, having sessions, retreats over and over again, to brainstorm on how we can move, how we can get into the arena to make a difference, and how we can move our state forward. If we can start from there to show example to the world that good governance and performance delivery is not rocket science. So I've been part of that process with him all this while. So it wasn't surprising to me when eventually he came calling on me, and then and the party also, Labour Party, came calling that expressed his desire to have me as his running mate, and the party unanimously at the Congress ratified that nomination, and my name was put forward. So for me, it's a journey, and it's exciting, though tough. It's a new world, but because, why am I saying it's a new world? Yes, I've been involved in the underground politicking of the Nigeria Bar Association. As human beings, we are political animals anyway. I've done some level of politics in my very beloved Sectoral Club 81 and other places I find myself, but not active partisan politics. Although I have, to a large extent, been consciously a political activist, but it took a lot for us to now decide, to get involved, because we are not happy. I particularly am not happy with the way our Edo State has been run. Governance has, gone down to the base. Local government administration is as if it's non-existent. The nation has its own challenges, but I think if we begin to show good examples at the subnational levels, and begin to see, do things differently in a manner that will make life easier for our people, for the citizens, it will all be better for us. Because the average Nigerian citizen, the average Edolite back here at home, I'm taking this meeting from Auchi. We've been in Benin doing campaigns. I just arrived Auchi early this morning for some campaign meetings with Olu Akpata, and he had to go to Benin. But because of this call, I had to stay back, because if I'd joined the journey going back, I would have still been on the road by now, and I would not be able to participate. So, and I'm seeing directly the pain and anguish that our citizens go through. And I've had to challenge myself together with my principal, and look, the strongest instrument with which you can impact the life of people positively is through government. No matter how much philanthropic you may be as a private individual, you can only do very little, because one government policy can erode all your efforts. So we have to tell ourselves that, you know what, it's high time we got involved in this process, and to seek the support and the approval of those citizens to give us the mandate to pilot the affairs of the state, and to show to the world that it is not so difficult to do good for the people. It is not difficult. Good governance is not rocket science, and good performance delivery is not a difficult thing. It's just about the willpower, the good-mindedness, and it's just me, because I always want to do good for the people, and that's what has always gotten me involved, motivated me to get involved in a lot of the philanthropic activities I've been involved in through different organizations. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Thank you very much. I also want to appeal, sir. I don't know how much time you've got for us, but I'm looking at this program will last between 2 to 2.5 hours. May I also say that because there will be many questions, if you can sort of your answers, let them to be a bit short. But I must also say that we are learning a lot. I'm surprised to know that Olumide Akpata was one-time speaker of the Law Association, and you were also involved in that. This information needs to come out. It needs to come out. Please, I hope the campaign team of the Labour Party, you are taking notes. These informations are very important, because people just think that both of you are all neophytes in the game. they need to come out because politics starts indeed from our schools. Thank you so much. Without wasting time, we are going to go straight to the Zoom floor. Chief Joseph Ogeon, Don Senator, and Prince Egbe Omorodion. We are going to take it in that order. Chief Joseph Ogeon, 90 seconds, please. If you are ready, unmute yourself and ask your question. We haven't got so much time. Prince Joseph Ogeon. Okay, he's not available just now. Don Senator, can you unmute yourself? 90 seconds. Ask your question. Don Senator.
Okay.
Unmute yourself, Don Senator.
Yeah, you can hear me now, please. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Go on with your question.
Okay, thank you very much.
You are unmuted. Don Senator, you are unmuted. Comrade Lamte, can you unmute Don Senator, please?
I think you should go to the next person. He said, I think he's out of the floor.
Okay. Prince Egbe Omorodion. Prince Egbe Omorodion, can you ask your question? 90 seconds, please.
Thank you very much. I hope you guys can hear me. Please confirm.
Prince Egbe, please,
yeah, can we see your face?
It's one of the rules of engagement, sir.
I have tried to open my
Don
video.
Senator, we are coming back to you. Don't worry.
Can you hear me, sir?
We can hear you. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, we can. Okay. Go ahead. 90 seconds, please.
Good evening, everyone. I want to greet you, our Honorable Deputy Governor-to-be. Thank you very much for taking all that time to acquaint us of your background. My name is Prince Dr. Egbe Omorodion, Chairman Labour Party, United Kingdom. I'm happy to be here. My question is very simple, and I won't even use all my 90 seconds. We have all heard about the violence that is going on in Edo State. How APC and PDP are accusing each other of being the perpetrators of this violence against our people. Less than 2 months or about 2 months from the 23rd of September when the election will be taking place, these are all warnings. In Benin, we say, the stone that you see coming cannot blind you because you have to be foolish to wait for the stone to hit your eyes. We have seen these stones coming. These are just kind of preparation towards the election period. It is obvious that the only, fight that APC and PDP have against the Labour Party is violence. First, protecting the citizens and ensure that they are afraid and scared of coming out to vote. Second, to come and steal ballot papers and ballot boxes. Probably finally to come and shoot, maim, and kill innocent citizens of Edo State. I am here in a comfortable place in the United Kingdom. We are
campaigning. May I advise that you go to the question now? You've got just 10 seconds to do so.
Good. So my question, sir, is how prepared are we? I can't say how prepared are you because I believe I'm part and parcel of this whole organization. How prepared are we on the ground to combat this violence that is intended towards not just Labour Party personnel, officers, and their representatives and polling agents, but also citizens of Edo State? Thank you. I'll leave it.
Can we go to the next person, please?
Yeah, if Don Senator is around, you can ask your question now. Don Senator, please. Unmute yourself and ask your question. Lamte, the senator is pointing fingers at us. What's happening to him? Do you want to unmute him?
Go ahead, Don Senator. Unmute yourself.
He's not muted.
Yeah, now it's done. Thank you very much. Mr. Lati, please calm down. Thank you very much. My able incoming Deputy Governor, you are welcome, sir. Thank you for your resume. My question goes to the court judge. The court rule about the aspirant of the PDP, about the 378 delegates. As a son, and our principal being who he is as well, I want to find out if you are using your office or your position to see that that law stands against him and is being disqualified from this pool. So, what is your take, and what are you guys doing to see that Aswell Godaro is being disqualified from PDP with the 378 delegates that the court have ruled against him? Thank you very much.
Recording in progress.
Thank you so much, Don Senator. I will take the last question. Joseph Ogeon, please, 90 seconds. Unmute yourself, please. Let's save time. Let's try to be very savvy with technology and do it quickly. Joseph Ogeon. Comrade, can you unmute him?
He's been asked to unmute himself. Go ahead, Mr. Joseph Ogeho.
Okay, good afternoon, good evening, good afternoon, each and everyone that is here today. Good afternoon, my honorable Mr. Kadiri. My question to you is, Labour Party, as it stands right now in Edo State, kind of stand on two legs. One fashion of RTVA and one fashion of, what is his name again now? Okay, I forgot his name now. I might try to remember later. You know who I'm talking about. Now, according to the news we are hearing, RTVA said on her news that she's willing to work with Barrister Olumide Akpata, but Barrister Olumide Akpata is not willing to work with her. So because the other Labour Party chairman was removed without his notice. Now, my question to you, sir. I can see you and Barrister Olumide moving from one place to another without the aid of the Edo State Labour Party chairman or chairlady. So what are you doing in your position to reconcile RTVA and what's the other guy's name again? Jesus, sorry, I forgot. Yeah, the deposed Edo State chairman. So what are you doing in your capacity to bring the Labour Party in Edo State together as one, now that they have two factions? Because definitely a house divided against itself cannot stand. So please, that is my question.
Okay, Your Excellency, just before you come on, let me quickly just drop this. Fellow Nigerians, particularly those state people, please, I will appreciate if we'll confine our questions to what we expect the ticket to do for those state people. I think it will be important. We don't derail the entire focus of this meeting. I probably wanted to start hearing what they want to do on education, on health, on agric, and all of that. Because at the end of the day, some of these issues that we are raising now, I just want to advise, because those are some of the things that some of us expect. That's why we have to put this together. But we want to know what are the vision, what is the vision exactly that they have for those state people. Those are the key things. Over to you, sir, before we take the next group of 3 questions.
Yeah, thank you so much, Your Excellency, Deputy Governorship candidate. Can you please respond to those 3 questions? Why I want to ask that the following people get ready. We don't want to start calling you and you are not here. Jefferson Otabo, Dr. Johnson Odibo, and Oseni Abiri. Please get ready after His Excellency finish responding to these 3 questions. Your Excellency, sir, please. Yes, and I'm conscious of time. I want you to respond to all of them, but let's be conscious of time.
Yes, thank you very much. I think the principal host, has hit the nail on the head. Yes, I'm going to respond to these questions, but I am eager to talk about our action plan, our mission for those states. educational sector, and all the sectors and what we are bringing to the table. But let me quickly deal with these questions that have been asked. 3 questions for now. Prince Dr. Egbe Amorodio made reference to the issue of prevailing violence and asked how prepared we are, to deal with this situation. First of all, we are a law-abiding set of people, and we are very eager to submit ourselves to the people, the citizens, to decide on who to give their mandate to. And we verily believe that with our policies, with our mission statements, as a political party, the Labour Party is a people-centric party, a party that, focuses more on what affects the people. That is why our slogan is Papa, Mama, Pikin. So I do not think that the issue of violence is, we are not carved out for that, and we do not intend to join that kind of madness. And I verily believe that this election coming up on the 21st of September 2024 is a kind of referendum for the Edo people to decide between life and death, whether they want to continue to be held down in the way we have been since the past 25 years, or whether they want to build a new lease of life and to the path of progress and prosperity and development. So for us, our focus is on the people, and we verily believe that the people of Edo State, the citizens, we own this election. And so for us, we are taking our message to the people. We just finished our first round of campaigns in all the 18 local government areas in Edo State on Saturday, and we have kicked off our second round of campaigns 4 days ago. And we are going to every nook and cranny of the states. We are going to every ward, every community. We are seeing for ourselves. So we are taking our message to the people. We are never going to get involved in this the madness, so-called violence. And we verily believe that the ordinary Edo people are not violent, and they are not going to get involved in politics, in violent approach to politics. So we are selling ourselves to the people. We are telling them what we plan for the educational sector, for the agricultural sector to take care of the issue of food security, electricity, power, which has become a big crisis, and then we are selling a message of hope to the youths, message of hope to the papa, mama, that's the parents, father, mother, and the children, and then we are sending a message to everyone on how we want to take our state back on track, rescue our state from this, from where it is now. We've gone around the state, we've seen that every part of the state is abandoned, is neglected, and the state and the citizens are yearning for. Hello, I hope I'm not being taken out.
No, you are fine.
Okay. The Edo citizens, the Edo people, and every community we've gone to, they are all yearning for the basic necessities of life. Good roads, motorable roads, electricity in the world we are in today. Okay? Good education for the children. Good schools, starting from the basic one, primary school, secondary school, and then the university system. Water supply, healthcare, bringing healthcare closer to the people. And those are things I really want to talk about tonight, if I'm given the opportunity. So, and I has been directed or enjoined by our host for us to tailor our questions in this direction. Because there's no part of the state that is not neglected. You see, people, for political correctness, sometimes talk about marginalization. But we've got to realize marginalization is the language being used by the politicians just to get access to power. And when they get there, the typical politicians. Anyway, I don't see myself as a politician. I see myself and Olumide as change agents that are coming in to rescue the state. The neglect pervades through the entire state. We've gone to the inner parts of Edo South, Ovia Southwest, Ovia Northeast, Uredo, Ikobaoka, Ego, Oriomo, We've gone to Edo Central, all the local government areas there. We've gone to Edo North, all the local government areas in Edo North, Akoko Edo, the other local government areas in Nigeria today, Isako, the 3 Isakos, the young ones. The neglect is all over everywhere. Hunger does not know tribe. Hunger does not know political party. Okay? Poverty does not know tribe or political party. Everywhere is yearning for development. And I ask myself, I say, what have the people done wrong to suffer this level of neglect that they've gone through? Many of our communities have no electricity. We went to Oriomo, Abudu, and Ronigbe, the 2 major towns in Oriomo. Abudu is the local government headquarters. Have not had electricity for the past 10 years. And that is what goes on in many other parts of the state. We went to Uromi Township Roads. It's like you're driving through a war zone. And that is a place that has produced successively 3 ministers of works. Very powerful ones at that. I'm talking of the internal township roads inside Uromi. And then the highway that comes through from Abuja through Auchi, through Ewu, Iruekpe to Benin. It's unpassable. You want to go on a journey, you are afraid, you are calculating how you're going to navigate through these hurdles. And then we have a government that will put on the road, please bear with us, this is a federal government road. The people that are applying those roads are Edo indigenes. They are not federal, they don't care whether there is federal, they just want to have roads. We traveled to Akoko Edo for campaign. The road from Auchi to Akoko Edo is as if it's a war zone. I mean, so this is what our people are facing every day. We went into the interior of Ovia Southwest, Ugbogbo community, and a couple of other places. It's as if they are cut out of civilization. These are the real things that we are seeing, and this is what this process, this journey has revealed to us. Every part of Edo State is neglected. We go around the communities. The schools that are there are dilapidated, primary schools, which is the foundation. And even to employ teachers, to teach our children, to equip them with what they need to combat the hurdles of life. Teachers are not even being employed by the government. Communities employ teachers for their primary schools and secondary schools, and they contribute monies to pay their salaries. Then I ask myself, what is their government for? The definition of democracy mentions people 3 times. Government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So the primary essence of government is to work for the welfare, for the security and safety, and peace of mind and happiness of the common majority. That is the people. But this is what is absent. So what I've seen in this journey so far is that it seems as if the people do not matter in the heart and the mind of those that have had the opportunity to govern our states. The level of decadence we see, it's clear to me that, the deterioration has piled up for so many years. And I ask myself, why are our citizens being made to go through this kind of pain? Why should a bag of Gari sell for 90,000 naira, for goodness sake? These are the issues for me. I'm sorry, I've moved away from the question, but I'll come back to the question. Does it take, do we use dollars to plant cassava? When we have arable land, very fertile land. Okay, so Edo people are impoverished, and poverty has been weaponized by those that have opportunities to hold political positions. And they use that to their own advantage. Election is coming. They are planning on how to come and dole out little 2,000 naira, 3,000 naira to people again, buy their wrappers and bags of rice, and buy their conscience. But that is the issue now. It's between life and death. Our people want to continue in this condition, or they want to have a change and boot out those that have been misgoverning us and have a new lease of life, which is the message we are bringing on the platform of Labour Party. And that's why our slogan is Papa, Mama, Pikin. So on the violence side, we are focusing on the people, we are conveying a message to the people, we are talking to the people, we are going from community to community around the entire state, and we are never going to get involved in violence. So our weapon against violence is the people. And our message to the people is to come out massively to vote and vote Labour Party and vote out those they've given opportunities over the years that have failed woefully over and over again. Pikin goes school, and at the end of the day, Papa go ask him, Mama go ask him, where your report card? So it is now time to ask those parties. Since 1999, 2 parties have dominated the affairs of our states. And they've been tossing us around like football. PDP, APC. For me, I call them PDAPC, with all due respect. Because today, same people will be in this party. Tomorrow, they move to the other party. So they are 2 sides of the same coin. So what matters to me most is how much has governance impacted on the life of the people. We'll be talking about bad roads for God knows how long. We'll be talking about lack of electricity supply for God knows how long, since 1999. And here we are. The constitution has been amended since last year. State governments can now have the power to generate electricity, to regulate electricity in their domain. You do no longer need to wait for federal government. So is it rocket science for a state government to be innovative enough to look at it, look at that side of it? Edo State in Oriomo has the largest deposit of liquefied gas in Nigeria, even in Africa. And the cleanest source of energy, of electricity, is gas. We have it in our hands. But the local government area that has the largest deposit of gas in Nigeria has not had electricity for 10 years. We want to turn this around because we believe if we light up Edo State, it will spring up all industries. We go to some places. I went to Ikutu to campaign, and the traditional was telling me that they had 27 factories there about 30, 50, 40 years ago. They are all gone down because of electricity. So electricity is very crucial. It's going to help us to revamp the small and medium scale enterprises. It's going to help us to revamp the industrial sector. It's going to help us to revamp even the educational sector and even the health sector. And all other things in the value chain, we begin to enjoy the multiplier effect. And of course, it will dovetail into a resultant economic growth and development for the citizen.
May I interject, sir? So I am sure, with all due respect, that the questions are going to come that will cover these areas so that you don't have to answer all the questions before they actually come.
Okay, my apologies.
I can see your body language. I can, of course, I don't notice, the hunger and the passion with which you talk. And, of course...
My apologies. Okay, question number 2. Sorry, sir. Question number 2 about the recent Federal High Court judgment on the candidacy of the PDP candidate. Well, you see, and the question is, what are we doing to ensure that the PDP candidate is disqualified? I don't think it lies on us to be bothered about disqualification of a candidate. Quite frankly, that's an internal party matter within PDP. We are not members of the People's Democratic Party. My understanding of that case is that it was a pre-primaries litigation. Issues that arose from the exclusion of certain persons who were elected as delegates in their wards, in their ward congresses, and who were entitled to go into the state congress to elect their candidates for the party. And their grounds is that they were excluded, and they went to court to challenge their exclusion, even for the primaries. So, and the court has given its judgment. I'm aware that the parties have gone on appeal. The matter is sub judice. Insofar as a lawyer, as a minister at the level of justice, I cannot comment on a matter that is presently still in court. It's on appeal, to the best of my knowledge. And I'm not party to the case, and neither is my principal or Labour Party. So we are not we don't have the facts, and we're not party to the dispute. So it's an internal matter in PDP. So, and I think I will advise that we leave them to either swim or sink with it as they deem fit, and while we focus on selling our message to the people of Edo State. Then the third question. Third question is about factionalization in Labour Party, TBA and Agbaloy. Well, for us, we have an election to go into. Today makes it 2 clear months, 60 days to September 21st. Today is 21st of July. So in a moment like this, yes, we are making efforts. We try to reach out. We try to talk to even the national leadership. I know my principal has done a lot of shuttle diplomacy. In my own little way, I've also been, engaging. But our focus is on our campaign. I do not see Labour Party as divided. Our focus is on our campaign, because at the end of the day, we are not going to tell Edo citizens that, oh, the reason we did not campaign is because there are divisions in our party. So we are focusing on our campaign at this moment, and while still allowing the party machineries and ourselves, to help to find a way to reconcile the factions, but we are not getting involved in any of the factions because we did not create the factions.
Thank you very much, Deputy Governorship Candidate Alhaji Prince Yusuf Asamah Kadiri. Thank you so much. The next 3 questions, please. Let's get ready. Jefferson Otabo, Dr. Johnson Odibo, and Oseni Abiri. Please, let's be cautious of time. Go straight, ask your question. Jefferson Otabo, can you unmute, please? Lamte, please try and help them quickly. Let's be swift with this.
Good evening, sirs. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. It's good you hear our opinion as well as people in diaspora. My name is Jefferson Otabo, and I'm from Leeds, West Yorkshire. So I have 3 questions. So I don't know if I'm permitted to ask these 3 questions at a time in a go.
Just my first question is this. Jefferson, please.
So, one, yeah?
Yes, please.
Oh, okay, then I'll just look at it. Okay, now, well, I will ask this one. Now, in my own take, what do you think about the epileptic state of Nigeria, Edo State power, and how do you intend to fix it? Just explain in details how you intend to fix the power of Edo State, the light, in details, so that we can as well know, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Jefferson. Dr. Johnson Odibo.
Yes, thank you very much. I'll just go straight to the point. Johnson Odibo from Zurich, Switzerland. Chief Kadiri, thank you very much for joining. My questions are twofold. First of all, how do you intend to work with the principal? I'm talking about Chief Olumide Akpata when you get into office. Because of the conflict, how do you actually, I'm talking about conflict management, because of what we've seen recently in Edo State. And 2, how do you, in governance, how do you intend to change the mindset of people? Because a lot of people just see politicians being the same. When it comes to elections, they speak the same language. But when it comes to active operational governance, it's a completely different ballgame. So how do you change the mindset of people to have confidence in you and to really convince them that you are not one of your administration, not going to be one of the others? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Oseni Abiri, your question, please. Oseni, you are muted. Komelante, can you unmute him quickly? Let's save time, please.
All right. Thank you again for hosting this event. I want to thank my brother. My name is Oseni Abiri. I'm based in Houston, Texas. I'm also from Auchi. I want to go straight to my questions, which are bordered on insecurity. And I want to ask my brother, how do you intend to empower our youths in Edo as a solution to solving the insecurity in Edo State? Secondly, how do you ensure and enforce and promote the local government autonomy given the Supreme Court judgment and ensure transparency as a way of ensuring that there is people-driven governance that will empower our various electorate? Because what we are seeing now is that a lot of the politicians take the money from the local government, and at the end of the day, there's no dividend of democracy to the people who elect them in various positions.
Yeah, thank you so much, Oseni Abiri. May I just appeal, let your question be one. And because we have deprived Mr. Jefferson Otabo from asking the second question, and we have allowed those other people to answer too. Jefferson, if you are still there, are you there? Jefferson? Okay, it's not there. I just wanted to get a balance so that I can ask this question, and we have two. But going forward, let's just answer one question, please. Your Excellency, I want to beg you, being cautious of time, try to respond to the question, but please stay on the question and let them be short. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Yes, thank you, Jefferson Otabo. Epilepsy pass supply in Edo State, how do we intend to tackle it? Yes. Firstly, the legal framework as it stands today empowers state governments to generate, regulate, and provide electricity, unlike pre-2023 position, where it was only an exclusive matter to the federal government. And so we intend to take on the electricity, the power issue, the energy issue head on. Because we've seen that our state is hungry for electricity. And we're going to tap into all the sources of energy. But the most readily one that is a low-hanging fruit is gas-powered energy, liquefied gas. Why am I saying this? We have the largest gas deposit in Nigeria. So, and I know there are a lot of gas companies intended to come in now, but any gas processing plant must go very close to where the gas reserves are. Because in simple economics, in certain industries, you have to take it to, you have to consider the issue of nearness to raw materials as a primary consideration. Oriamo has the largest deposit of gas. We intend to check on the legal, framework to ensure that there are no hurdles. Yes, the state government has the power to produce electricity, generate and distribute. And then, as a state government, we go into collaboration with the private sector. That's our plan. And there are a lot of, companies that are looking for good destinations. All they need is stable policies and security of investments for them to go to those destinations. And so we intend to use our legal knowledge to push through the State House of Assembly laws that will encourage private investors under PPP arrangements with the state to come into the power sector. Permit me to just quickly cite as an example. Abia State. Professor Batunaji has been trying to provide alternative power for over 2 decades. But the successive state governments were never interested until Alessoti came to office a year ago. And he signed on the geometric power project. And the very first project they did, Aba, as an industrial hub, today, less than 1 year of Alessoti being in office, and Bana has uninterrupted power supply 24/7. So it is doable. And about 9 other local governments have now been added to it. So, and Edo has, the requisite liquefied gas that can be used to generate clean energy. And beyond that, of course, solar is another source of clean energy. and a couple of other things like wastes. So we want to tackle electricity head-on because we believe that when we have power supply in the entire length and breadth of the state, businesses will boom. There'll be Pareto growth, multiplier growth in the economic activities. The ordinary citizens will begin to, tap into their initiatives. So we plan to go into that. Then, and very quickly for that matter, if we come into office with your support, then Johnson Odibo did ask, okay, how do I intend to work well with Olumide Akpata to avoid conflict in view of what has been going on in our polity? Well, you see, when you find strange bedfellows coming together, being brought together by political circumstances, it becomes a problem. As individuals, as human beings, the relation between myself and Olumide Akpata has been a kind of organic growth. We've not just been, before we came into politics, we've been very close friends and brothers for over 35 years now. I mean, and we've collaborated together over the years in several facets, several things. Even when he was president of Nigeria Bar Association, I was one of the NG rooms behind the scenes. I worked with him to ensure that he succeeded, and today it's on record that in recent times, in the recent history of Nigeria Bar Association, he's been one of the best, or if not the best, performing president of Nigeria Bar Association, because we have people like me working with him behind the scenes to succeed. So for us, we exude the spirit and the culture of teamwork, team play, team spirit. So and I believe with that, we are not going to have any challenges. My role as a deputy is to complement my principal, and in his absence, step into his shoes to pilot the affairs of the state to avoid any vacuum. So I know what my roles are. If we get into office, of course, we are going to play it very well. It will be kind of symbiotic relationship. So I want to assure our idolites that the kind of gangsterist relationship we've seen in our political environment in the state in recent times, we are not that kind of people. We are more refined than such things. And the relationship him and I have had, because the fact that we have collaborated together for so many years in different areas, it's not going to be difficult for us to work well together. So please, that our people should have that assurance. Then, Johnson Odibo also did ask, how do we convince people to have confidence in us? Yes, I know it's not easy because there's a trust deficit in our society, but because of the message of hope we bring in, and because we are a new face, not the typical kind of faces people are used to. I just mentioned earlier on that we just completed our first round of campaigns around the entire state, all the 18 local government areas. We visited them. And I can see clearly the enthusiasm, the excitement with which we have been received everywhere we've gone to. Okay? So it's clear to us that the people are eager. And they are used to people who they've given opportunities and have failed them. But we are not such people. We are coming out for the first time and we are saying, okay, you know what? Those you've given opportunities in the past over and over again and they keep failing, it is time to now issue them the red cards. And then give us the opportunity. Test us.
Who's there?
And for me, as an individual, in the leadership responsibilities I've held previously, I do not think I've ever disappointed the people that have entrusted such responsibilities to me. And same with Olumide Akpata. I just said earlier on now, he did excellently well as president of the Nigeria Bar Association. And when I served as president of Fiscal Committee 1, I'm sure my people know that they had a president that's really served them for the benefit of the people, not for himself. That is who we are. And so we want to serve Edo people. We want to work for Edo people. We want to use the Edo resources for Edo people. We want to show for once that the people matter much more than politics. Edo people first. Edo people must matter. So that's the message we are giving to people. We went to some places and we were told that because we were arriving late, the community we were meant to get to by 5 p.m. We got there at about 11 p.m. It was like a carnival.
What is it
Then
now?
the other community that we are giving 7 p.m., but because we were delayed in some other communities, we got there at about 12:30 midnight. It was like a carnival. They were not tired. You could feel the excitement in the air, the organic nature of the audience, not rented crowd. People who are eager and hunger to hear from these new voices and to hear the message of hope that we are bringing to them. That has further given us the encouragement, the motivation to fire on. Then, my dear brother, Seni Abiri from Houston, your question revolves around the state of insecurity, and then youth empowerment, and then local government autonomy. I'll tell you them one by one. You see, there's a general insecurity all over the country, but I think it's largely due to total failure of governance. I mean, we hear every day about herdsmen, kidnapping people. But you see, if government sees up to its responsibility, these things will be managed and nipped in the bud. For multiple reasons. First of all, the primary purpose of government is the security and welfare of the citizens. Right? There's just so much that the government can do to help to combat security. I know, yes, the commander-in-chief is the president of the federation. State governors do not have power to give orders to the Inspector General of Police, or as it is today, the law of Nigeria, the constitution. State governors cannot give orders to the Inspector General of Police, or the Chief of Army Staff, Chief of Air Staff, Chief of Defense Staff, Chief of Naval Staff. But there's what is called smart collaboration, which I believe that we intend to adopt. Some states are able to solve the state of the insecurity situation in their domains because the governments in those states are wearing the hats of smart collaboration. If you put your people first and you tell yourself that you have a duty as a government to guarantee the safety and security of our people, then you know that as a government, as a governor, as a state government, you must collaborate with the law enforcement and security agencies. And for those states that are collaborating well with them, they are seeing the results. The State Security Service, the Directorate of State Security, the police, the army, the navy, the civil defense, they are all there. Yes, they are agents of federal government until the constitution is amended. I'm a true federalist. I do hope that the constitution is amended someday to devolve some of these states to the states. But for now, we can make the best of the bad situation by collaborating smartly with the security agencies in our domain to help to guarantee the safety of our people. I say this, herdsmen are kidnapping every day. None is being caught and prosecuted because there's no willpower. But if a herdsman goes to the government house to steal the handbag of the governor's wife, you will surely be caught. Okay? So then youth empowerment to dissuade children, our young ones, from going into criminalities. We intend to focus on rehabilitation and reforming and giving hope to our youths. We've always been told over the years, even when we were very young, that the youth are the leaders of tomorrow. That tomorrow that we have always been told is today, and we're still being told the youth are the leaders of tomorrow. Nothing is being done to lay that foundation to equip the youths with what it takes to lead that tomorrow and really have a tomorrow. The Akpata and Kadiri candidacy and, by the grace of God, government, we intend to roll out a lot of youth initiatives. One, first of all, education is very crucial in conjunction with electricity. Education. Our youth need to be equipped with the right educational facilities. We are going to build schools, brick and mortar first of all, primary and secondary schools, equip them with modern learning facilities. In the world that we are today, when we were growing up in the primary and secondary schools, mathematics and English were compulsory, right? But today, the other compulsory subject should be technology. So we must prepare our young ones to be able to compete in the nearest future in the marketplace. We are going to change the educational curriculum to include technology, not just for the same, but to have the equipment, the requisite tools, learning school tools in our primary and secondary schools, computer gadgets for our children to learn. Then, those who have already gone through that phase and are already in society unleashing themselves, because every day we hear about our young persons going into criminalities, advancing fraud, what they call Yahoo Yahoo. Some of them have talents, but they apply those talents negatively. Our intention is to harness those talents and convert them to productive, positive use, and reform them away from those negative tendencies. Why are we saying that? Today, India is the hub for recruiting tech experts. Some companies are based in the US, in the UK, in France, but their back-end tech departments are in Mumbai, in India. And it's these boys you have working there because they've been equipped with the requisite skills to work. Then also, some of these boys who we see as going into criminalities, what is called, largely called Yahoo Yahoo, that's advanced fraud, have some skills and talents, but have not been given the right opportunities to exploit them positively, and they are exploiting them negatively. If they are given the right hope and direction, they can become very instrumental even in the war against insecurity. I said this, some countries have what they call legalized hackers, working with the security agencies. You know, you find them in these boys. But all they need is reformation, rehabilitation, reorientation, and being equipped with the right skills to change them to the positive direction. We intend to look into this. Then, giving hope to them, creating and revamping the MSMEs. Once we get electricity right, the MSMEs will fall into place. We intend to introduce access to credit for small and medium scale enterprises at affordable rates, and if possible, at zero interest rates. And a lot of the operators in the MSME sectors are youths. Many of them, they get disillusioned. A young man is running a barber salon from morning till night, he has no electricity. He has to rely on a better pass by neighbor generator to operate it. And then he has to buy petrol at exorbitant price. If he uses that if he then tops up his prices, the customers will be unable to pay. And he ends up being idle throughout the day. With electricity, you have revamped the business of that young person. The young lady is running an hairdressing salon or a tailoring shop. With electricity, you have revamped that business, and you have made the business even easier for them to run, and so on and on and on and on. So that's one reason I said we are going to tackle electricity head on, because it's one of the instruments we intend to use to revamp the economy and also use to, redirect our youth. And then, of course, yes, those who are really committing crimes, if after giving them opportunities to, tailor their minds in the positive direction, and they still become very recalcitrant, then, of course, law enforcement will take its course, But I believe, I'm a kind of believer in the fact that there's something good in every human being. What most people lack or they have not found is the right opportunity. So if given the requisite opportunity, I think that our youths they have what it takes to be on the right path of life. The local government autonomy. That's the last question, sir. Yes. The recent Supreme Court judgment actually does not deal with local government autonomy. Let's take note of that. it only guarantees financial autonomy. There are several ways in which local governments have been emasculated. But you see, that will take us into the constitutional realm. As a government, our policy is, because as a lawyer, as a senior advocate of Nigeria, my principal has been a former president of NBA, and we've always canvassed the rule of law and constitutionalism. We believe that every arm of government, every layer of government should be allowed to discharge its constitutional responsibilities. So, local governments under the Akpata Kadiri administration are going to enjoy full autonomy. But they have
Thank
to work.
you. Deputy governorship candidate, I need to stop you here now. I think you've answered a lot. May I tell you that on the Zoom floor, we have close to 20 questions waiting for you to answer. We have not even gone to Facebook. And many people will be disappointed if we don't take their question. Please, I know you want to answer as many. I know you are very good at what you want to do for Edo State, but make your answers or response to be short so that we can take as many questions as possible. May I also appeal to all of us, if your question has been asked, there's no need asking. You can as well put your Zoom hand down to save time. Also, too, we have a list of questions that people have raised their hands. But if your device is not properly labeled, we are not going to call you because you are going against the rules. So somebody has got a Sun iPhone, want to have your complete name. Kofras want to have your complete names. So please, if that is not done, you will not be called. Back office is doing a lot of job and we must follow them. Alhaji Sophie Abdul Malik, Alhaji Chief Aneru Amadu, and Comrade Courage. Get ready. And Professor Godwin Umoru, Lord K. Egosa, and Jagu Igara, please get ready. We go straight to Alhaji Sophie Abdul Malik, followed by Alhaji Chief Aneru Amadu and Comrade Courage. Alhaji Sophie, please put your on mute and ask your question. Let's be very quick and smart.
Alhaji Sophie, please, if you don't have your video on, we cannot accept you.
It's almost 1 hour on the clock. We want to save time and answer as much as possible. Alhaji Sophie Abdul Malik, please ask your question, sir.
Thank you very much. I hope you are hearing me.
We can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you very much. First of all, let me thank you and congratulate the organizer for this interview. I just want to ask, I know Asamah Kadiri, the incoming deputy governor, by God's grace. I know him very well. I know what he can do. I know what he has been doing internally as far as Fiscal Club 81 is concerned. And I'm happy that he wants to replicate it to Edo State generally. So my question is direct. Past governments have been concentrating on development of the urban area. What is your program for the rural area where we have land, a part of land, but undeveloped because of lack of facilities to access this? And we are talking about hunger. Hunger in Nigeria, it is in the rural area that we have land, that we can develop agricultural sufficiently. What is your program?
Alhaji, thank you. We move on to Alhaji Chief Aneru. Please, let's be quick. Alhaji Chief Aneru Amadu.
Can you, okay.
Yes. We can't see your face, sir.
My face, I mean, I'm not, my face should be seen. I don't know.
Okay, go ahead and ask your question, sir.
But anyway, I thank you for the opportunity to ask questions. I thank the organizers of this forum for the opportunity for us to be here today to hear our next deputy governor of Edo State. The issue of food, everybody is crying of food shortage. We know where food went. Farmers are unable to go to farm as previous. So they are I mean, the herdsmen or kidnappers are preventing farmers from going to farm. That is where food has gone. So, in this light, I would like the nominated deputy governor, who is very likely to be our next deputy governor,
Point of
to
correction, not very
expatiate,
likely. You have to be assertive.
on the security issue in Edo State, in particular, and Nigeria in general.
Thank you so much. Comrade Courage, your question, please. And may I just correct an impression? It's not hopeful. He will be by the grace of God. Comrade Courage, your question, please.
All right. Good evening, sirs. Good evening, Deputy Governor, by the grace of God, and thank you for being here. My name is Courage Edos, and I live here in Leeds, Bradford. Since what we're doing here is centered around how to gain support for Labour Party, I want to ask, Labour Party is very popular in Edo South, mainly Ego, Oredo, and Boba Oka. So what are Labour Party doing to gain more support from other parts of the state? And that is one, sir. The second one is, how involved is the national body of the party in your campaign? That just is, thank you.
Comrade, thank you very much. It's only one question. Deputy governorship candidate, please fire on. Remember to be very short in your response. There's a lot to come.
Okay, thank you so much. My past president, Alhaji Yusuf Abdul Malik, I greet you, sir. Your question is, what is our program for the rural areas? I think, if you permit me, Mr. Moderator, I would like to take that question together with that of Alhaji Chief Anara Amadu, because they are interwoven, so I don't repeat myself. First of all, like I said earlier on, agriculture is a sector that we intend to give primary attention to amongst other sectors. Because once we're able to take care of food security, all of that is will follow. And the food basket of our state is largely the arable lands in the rural areas. And that will really help us to curb rural-urban migration. So we intend to work with the farmers, both the crop farmers, cash crop and economic crop farmers, and those involved in animal husbandry, to take it to the next level. The farmers have been somehow neglected, and we intend to go back to the farmers. First of all, is to use every resource of the state to partner with law enforcement agencies to guarantee the security of our internal homelands, our forests, our farms, and to dislodge those who have set up settlements in our rural farmlands, so that our farmers can go to farm. Then, we plan to partner with the farmers by giving them the requisite, first of all, like I said, enable environmental security first of all. Then, giving them the requisite tools. The farmers are not asking for too much. The farmer wants to have fertilizers, pesticides.
Can you hear me?
Okay, and other requisite tools. These are things that the Labour Party government intends to do for the farmers. And then we intend to restore us back to the days of the produce board, which we had in the First Republic and in the 1980s under the Northern Regional Government, Western Regional Government, and Eastern Regional Government, when the economy of Nigeria was largely driven on economic crops, cocoa in the west, groundnut in the north, and then palm produce in the east, and of course, Midwest region was also a big player in the palm produce sector. We try to restore that across the state, and then provide an arrangement for the farmers to set up cooperatives. And when they farm and harvest, the government, through the produce board, will buy the products of the farmers, so that the farmers will have access to funds and they're able to take care of their needs and go back to farming immediately. Edo is blessed with arable lands. And then government will then, one, sell to the produce board to the citizens at subsidized rates. Two, partner with private sector investors to set up food processing and storage plants. There were days when we had silos all over the states, in the days of Bender State and Midwest states. I'm not aware of any silos functioning now. There were days when we had rice mills, flour mills, Ewu, and a couple of others. They've all gone to the winds. But we are going to, if we create the enabling environment with electricity, with security, and with the road infrastructure that we intend to embark on aggressively across the latter part of the state, investors will be encouraged to come in. And then when they come in, they will partner in the food, all the value chains of the agricultural sector, and the food accessibility, food security will be easier, and it will then be easier and cheaper for people to have food to eat. Because I know a hungry man is an angry man. So we recognize the fact that food is very, very crucial, and it's something we intend to deal with, and provide all the necessary infrastructural facilities to aid the farmer in ensuring that they are happy to go to farm and cultivate for the society and help them to create the market. Then, Comrade Courage Edos asked, okay, Labour Party is popular in Edo South, and what are we doing to garner support for Labour Party across the entire state? I would say, with the first round of campaigns that we have done, it is clear to me, with all sense of modesty, that Labour Party is popular across the entire latter part of the state. If we move away from the typical politicians who have used the people to rise to power, and they dump them, and you go to the ordinary people on the streets, you will find that the ideology of Labour Party, people-centric philosophy, the welfare of the people, Papa, Mama, Peking, resonates with the average person on the streets. I mean, across Lentabred, the community where people waited for us to 12:30 midnight is in Owa East. Even in Akoko Edo, at 12 midnight, we got some places, people were waiting as if it was early morning. So that to me tells me that the party is popular in the heart and the mind of the ordinary people on the streets. And that is our target. Because at the end of the day, those are people that will vote with their PVCs. So, and we are continuing. We've commenced our second round of campaigns, and we are still going to go around the entire state. We started out in Edo South, Oredo. Yesterday we went around the Ego, Ikubauka local government area, and Ego local government Wednesday, Thursday, Ikubauka Friday, and yesterday. Monday we are continuing in Oredo. After that we move on to Ovia Southwest, Ovia Northeast. Then we now come to Edo Central, and then thereafter come to Edo North. We are covering every local government area. So I can assure you that we are doing our very best. We are not waiting for people to come and meet us. You know, some political parties, they send monies for the people to be rented and brought to the state capital or local government council. We are not doing that. We go to every local government area, and in the local government area, we go to every ward, the remotest villages we've been to, and we are still going to them to talk to the people, to convey our message of hope to them. Because it is the people that will decide. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. You are really doing justice to the issues. Right now, I just want Lot K Rosa to get ready. I also want his or Semige to get ready, and of course I want Kingsley A to get ready. But just before you guys come on, let's of course listen to this. I just want to share this video. Do I have that there?
But we never, I dedicate my time.
Well, just so we are reminded that of course there is a reason why we are here, and we are not forgetting that reason. And of course it's all about Labour Party and Labour Party and the Edo State governorship election that is coming up shortly. But right now, Lord K, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yes, thank you very much, the panel and every other Zoom participant here today. And welcome our Deputy Governor to be. Thank you very much. My very quick question is about where have you been all these years, our Deputy Governor? Where have you been? We have been waiting for people with this kind of resume, people with this kind of capacity. So please, where and how are you going to help us? Now, my main question is, having listened and understood the depth profile of Edo State itself and the inappropriation perpetrated by the past or the present government now. So how do we plan, or how do we want to recoup this money and use for the development that we are actually emphasizing on our states? Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Lord K. I also have, from the list I've got here, I also have Jagun Igora, but unfortunately, Jagun Igora's hand is not raised here, so I'm going to have to call on Ehige Osemige. Ehige Osemige, please unmute yourself, sir. Can we help unmute Ehige Osemige? If it's not there, please, Kingsley A, can you unmute yourself and ask your question and put on your video, please?
Good evening, everybody.
Go on, we can hear you, sir.
Okay, good evening, everybody. First of all, let me appreciate the incoming Deputy Governor by the special grace of God. My question is just a very simple one. I've heard all what we have said and what he explained to, and the way he has been answering our questions. The paramount what I feel is about the INEC. We had not quite long that they said the beavers at the mobile INEC, that the water just entered and destroyed some beavers. We knew what happened during Obi and our selected president, not elected. So INEC should be taken very serious, because some persons are not campaigning now. We know the party. They just believe I will talk to my father up there, and everything will change. Because you might have all the vision, you might have the good blueprint and everything, but if INEC is not watched closely, they might frustrate our efforts. Because we are all talking to our people at home. Sorry, I'm from United Kingdom here. Be able to convince so many persons, our class, old school friends, old school mates. I was a banker in Nigeria, my former colleagues and all. We're all doing these things. But if INEC is not watched closely, all these efforts can be thwarted. Please, I don't know. I know you cannot say some things here because of some, maybe for security reasons, but how are you watching them closely? Because we hear comments from our other party people They just believe that, oh, our brother there will just write the result and give to this Asamah to
Kingsley, sorry, I have to interject. Thank you very much. Yours has been actually advisory. I'm sure that the candidate has taken note of that. Let me quickly go on to Ehige Osemige. Mr. Ehige Osemige, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Okay, thank you very much, Comrade Lamte. Can you hear me?
I need you to put on your video, sir, please. That's part of the
Sorry,
rules of engagement.
I'm so sorry. I'm somewhere I cannot have my video on. Please, pardon me, please. Thank you very much.
Prince Osemige, in that case, I will advise that
please, Comrade Lamte,
Prince Osemige, please, I will just, with all due respect, sir, the rule is the rule. I will just move on to Izzy Omoruyi. Izzy Omoruyi, please ask your question. Prince Osemige, put your question in the comment chat. We'll take it from there. Izzy Omoruyi, go ahead.
Good evening, sir. My question is this. Let me just go straight. My question is, how can we get from where we are now to where we can be compared to an advanced country, like where we are now, and to be compared to an advanced country? How do we start? How are they going to start? Because we have a lot. So how do we do this? Sir,
thank you very much, Izzy Omoruyi. I think that His Excellency gets that. Because of time, sir, Your Excellency, I just want to add one more name so that you can just take the four together, possibly. Ask Nakolade, please, can you put on your video and ask your question as well? Unmute yourself, please. Go on, sir. We can hear you now.
Yeah, His Excellence. My question is simple. In terms of budget implementation and infrastructural development, what are you going to do to ensure that the underdeveloped local governments are brought to speed with the other ones that are developed? And again, how are you going to ensure that the contracts are not going to be due to just because of party members without doing the job? Thank you.
Over to you, Your Excellency. You can take the questions now. Fire on, sir.
Just a moment. Okay, thank you very much. Loke Egosa asked about the debt profile of Edo State and how do we plan to recover the money for the development of the state. The question doesn't seem to relate to the topic he has mentioned. He said debt profile. The debt profile of this state right now is about 600 billion naira, and but the question is asking is how do we intend to recover the money? That's the 600 billion naira is money Edo State is owing to different creditors from around the world. But how do we intend to recover the money for the development of Edo State? Well, if I understand the question correctly, perhaps it's how do we intend to use our resources for development of Edo State? Do I take it that is the question? Because if we say the debt profile, the debt profile is the burden on the state that has to be paid. So it's not about recovering the money. It's a debt profile that the state is owing. We are aware that as at 2016, the state was owing about 78 billion. But as at today, that is under when the former governor was handing over Oshomole. As at today, under the current administration that has been in power since 2016, the state is now owing about 600 billion naira.
Your Excellency, sorry to interject. I think Lord K is raising his hand. Lord K, can you be clear with your question,
yes,
please? Unmute yourself and ask the question properly.
Okay.
Lamte, can you unmute? Lord K.
Okay, but anyway, talking about the paper, so I can quickly close that particular one. The challenge for me, having gone around the state and my principal in the past 6 weeks campaigning to the people, we have been told those state is owing about 600 billion naira. And this is a state that generates 16 billion naira in revenue monthly, all year round. But I cannot point at any significant ambitious infrastructural projects or economic development projects that such loans that have been incurred for us and our children yet unborn have been spent on. So that is the fundamental question that those citizens need to deal with. And one of the reasons why this election, like I said earlier on, is a call for a referendum. We hear MOUs being signed every day, but the projects for which MOUs have been signed the past 8 years or 7 years and 8 months, they are largely not on the ground. So I think that's the question for the Edo people to use in deciding the way forward, come to the 1st of September 2024. Mr. Mori, Izzy Mori did ask, how can we get from where we are now to move our country to the level of an advanced country? It's a tall order, but a journey of 1,000 miles stands in a day. And Edo State is just one of the 36 composite units that make up Nigeria. But for us, we believe if each of the federating units begin to take governance seriously and pilot the affairs of government in a manner that it is intended to guarantee the welfare of the people, we will be gradually getting to that point. I know Abia State, which is, of course, the only state in which Labour Party has a governor and has only been in office for 1 year, what his predecessors could not achieve for 24 years, the 8 years of Uzoji Kalu, the 8 years of Theodoji, and the 8 years of Ikpeazu, 24 years. Alex Otti, in just 1 year in office, has achieved much more than that. So that is what we are bringing to Edo State. And I believe if the subnational entities begin to have responsible governments, leading by example and rebuilding their domains in a way that they become productive and prosperous, we'll be gradually getting to the level of the advanced world. We are still very far away from there. There's so much work to be done, but it is not rocket science. I mean, we know that the UAE was not a country until sometime around 1970 to 73, when some kingdoms, about 7 of them, came together to sign a treaty, to come together to form a federation. They were small principalities. And today, every Nigerian wants to go for vacation in Dubai. The big people who are fleecing us dry want to own properties in Dubai. Dubai, as of 50 years ago, was not what it is today. So it is doable. What it needs is the willingness, the good-heartedness to work for the progress and development of our states, for the benefit of our people. Aggressive infrastructure development, aggressive economic development and wealth and resultant wealth creation. And all of that things will fall into place. When I say infrastructure, electricity is a key part of it. Road infrastructure is a key part of it. Water resources is a key part of it. Health sector, bringing health sector closer to people is a key part of it. Educational infrastructure is a key part of it. If all these things are put in place, which we intend to, and then the citizens begin to have a better sense of belonging, begin to have an enhanced standard of living and begin to have restored hope and begin to take up the initiative to think well, to be innovative, and to create wealth among themselves, will gradually begin to get towards getting to the category of the advanced world. It's not an overnight affair. I'm not going to fool myself, but the work has to start. And we have to tenaciously get started, and vigorously continue to build the kind of state that we want, and build the nation that we want, that we're proud of, that we're happy to be citizens of. It can be done. It's not rocket science. And that's our commitment. That's our message to the Edo people. Thank you. Then Kolade asked about contracts. Yes, for us, I have been a commercial litigation lawyer dealing with disputes and corporate governance and compliance for decades. Olumide Akpata has been a corporate lawyer, a very big, successful one. So we are both successful in our ways. And what we assure Edo people is transparency, running a transparent government. Our budget making process will be transparent. Our contract and audit processes will be transparent. We'll put into place compliance policies and principles. And we'll match it and ensure that any contract awarded is delivered. Because if it's delivered, it's to our glory and for the benefit of the people. So I need to assure our people that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. We are still very much on the matter, and we've done over an hour now, and I still have a few hands raised here. Thompson Usadolo, I'll bring you on right now. Unmute yourself now. Meanwhile, Abubakar iPhone, please could you just rename that your device, the iPhone, and get ready while you rename of your device. And I equally want Usaritin to equally get ready. And of course, Prince Usigwe Kadiri, get ready as well. Thompson Sadolo, go ahead. Over to you.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, our incoming Deputy Governor. My name is Dr. Thompson Sadolo, a lawyer based in the UK. I've heard you from all discussions and the way you've been speaking and answering the questions, which has been very, very good. The issue is this. You and I and everybody on this platform know that the Edo people, we are tired of the party called APC and the party called PDP. The alternative that we actually have now will actually be the Labour Party. My question is this. If you are elected as the next governor, as deputy governor, and you and Akpata, what will you do to bring in we in diaspora as your generals? Because a primary school holder in the UK will run a government better in Nigeria because a primary school certificate holder in the UK knows what a good road is, knows what a drinkable water is, knows what electricity supply is. But our people who are PhD holders, who are professors in the university, when you give them power, either as a commissioner or whatever they are, they will still want to live in the darkness that we are still living. So I can assure you that we in diaspora can do a lot to influence our people based back home. There's virtually no home in Benin or in Edo State where there is no relation or relative in diaspora. And one phone call to our people in diaspora will make a difference. We in diaspora are the people who are actually piloting the affairs. We are the ones supporting the people in our country, or sorry, in our state. So we have a lot to do. So what will you do to ensure that some of us here who are talking to you today, I'm not saying appoint me as a commissioner or whatever.
Sorry, I would have to interject here. Your question is
Yes.
well asked, and I'm sure he has taken note of your question. I'll quickly go to Usareti. Usareti, please ask your question. Unmute yourself now. And please, Usareti, put on your video. We are not going to take your question without a video, please. Go ahead. We can hear you now.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening, our Vice Governor. My question is very short. Your party is coming on board now, the Labour Party. What are you people going to do about our industries that are being sold away by the greedy politicians who are being in power? How are you people going to revive them back again, like the Opilas Made Factory, like our tester mills and others? That's my question.
Thank you very much, sir. I want to quickly go to Prince Osigwe Kadiri. Go ahead, sir. Abubakar, iPhone, if you cannot put on your video, if you cannot rename your device, I will not call you, and of course, put on your video. Over to you, Prince Osigwe Kadiri.
All right. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone, and our incoming Deputy Governor. Good evening. May Almighty Allah make it successful for all of us. Looking at the fact that we from the younger generation, we all understand how backward our educational system is presently. When you see that most of the people that graduate from the university or the polytechnic, you find out that majority of them cannot, meet the requirements for employment and other things. You see a graduate of computer engineer, but he has nothing to offer when it comes to that aspect. You see a graduate of mechanical engineer, he does not know anything about his own field. So I just want to ask a question. What will you do about our technical schools, our technical college in Edo State? What will you do about it if eventually, by the grace of Almighty Allah, you people win the election and you become the Deputy Governor of the state? Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Just before you come on, Your Excellency, let us equally take Abubakar Haruna. Please put on your video and ask your question. Abubakar Haruna, put on your video to ask your question, and also unmute yourself. Go ahead, Mr. Abubakar. We can hear you now.
Yeah, good evening. My name is Abubakar Haruna. I'm speaking from Lagos. Good evening to our incoming Deputy Governor, distinguished son Asamah Kadiri. Your antecedents, integrity, and leadership qualities are very well known to me because I've known you for decades. So, I'm not doubting your ability to deliver on this mission that you have embarked on. And by the grace of God, Allah will make it possible for you. And Edo State will know that they have somebody, that ought to have been in government all these years. Now, I don't think, maybe I missed out when you were talking about health care delivery system in Edo State. As they say, health is wealth, and a healthy state is a wealthy state. I know that the health system in Edo State is in decadence. So I don't know, I want you to, maybe if you have mentioned it, but maybe for emphasis sake, your plan for delivery of good and affordable healthcare services to Edo people. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Over to you, Your Excellency.
Thank you so much. I'll start with the question posed by Dr. Thompson Sadolo. Yes, of course, we do recognize the very pivotal role of our diaspora brothers and sisters and the remittances that they bring back home to support their families over here. And then beyond that, even those that have gone and come back, what Aikweyama calls in fragments, the bintos, and they're coming back with value-added knowledge and skills to impact on the way things are done back home here. And so it's part of our policy to partner very, very closely with our diaspora community. In fact, we intend to set up a department of diaspora relations to manage the relationship between our government, by the grace of Almighty God, and our diaspora brothers and sisters, to channel the opportunities that abound out there properly for the overall benefit and the growth and development of our states. So that I can say. And of course, we are coming in the coming days to come and do physical meetings with our brothers and sisters in the UK and other parts of Europe to talk to you all about our diaspora agenda. But I've stated clearly for the record that yes, we have a very strong agenda for diaspora because we verily believe in the partnership with the diaspora community to further assist us in achieving our set objectives of uplifting our people out of poverty and revamping the economy of our states. So I want to give that assurance. Thank you. Then Usaratin's question was, how do we plan to revive and recover the factories that have been sold out by greedy politicians in the past? Well, you know, there's been this issue of sale of government properties or government businesses for decades. So some have become what I'll call very historical. I think for us, we want to focus on making progress so that we don't get distracted, right? There's still so much to be done. In as much as any past misdeeds will have to be investigated. But our primary focus, our plan is to focus vigorously and speedily on opening up the economy, touching on the low-hanging fruits, so that without dwelling too much energy and time on tracing and recovering things that have happened in the past. Why am I saying this? Because I know how terrible it might be for a government to easily lose focus when you are chasing and dwelling in the past, and then investigating and trying to recover some misdeeds that have been done previously. So, yes, where there have been blatant violations and breach of due process and governance principles and the law will take its course. But we wouldn't want to be seen as a state government that is anti or hostile to foreign investment. Because when you have a business that has been sold long ago under a privatization scheme to an investor has already invested in it, in revamping it. If you want to touch it, then as a government, you also be laying a bad precedent to discourage the other investors that you want to bring in that they cannot be guaranteed the security of their investments. So what we can do and what we intend to do is to ensure that any investor that has bought any of the critical assets delivers on the terms and conditions of the sale of the assets and not stripping the assets and then wreaking havoc on the economy of the state. Because we are eager to revamp the economy of the states. So our intention is to work with such investors that bought privatized public assets to ensure that they do not keep those assets to life value. Because as a state government, you don't want to get bogged down with protracted litigation or disputes with investors that bought assets. That's why Jakarta Steel is still there, moribund, because of interference with a transaction that had gone bad in the past. So there are several other things. Our state is endowed enough. The agricultural sector is yearning for investments. The soil mineral sector is yet to be tapped. The liquefied gas sector, in which Oregon has the largest deposit, is yet to be tapped at all. These are things we want to focus on to attract investors in and to rebuild the economy of the state, revive the economy of the state, and open up the economy for our people to begin to, be more productive and to begin to create wealth. I hope I've answered that question. Then Osigwe Kadiri talked about the technical schools. Yes, it's part of our educational policy that we intend to introduce. When I spoke earlier, I talked about the primary and secondary. I've not talked on tertiary, and then of course, but the technical education is a very vital part of it that I want to revive. There were days when Bender State, as it was then, and Edo State had technical colleges in different parts of the state. But right now, they are no longer, they are all dead. And even the colleges of education that are supposed to train our teachers, the teachers training colleges that used to train teachers for primary school and secondary school, and then the teachers, and then the college of education are no more there. Last time we went to campaign in Igwebe, we found that the college of education in Igwebe is shut down. The technical college in Igara is more or less dead. So it's an aspect of education that we intend to revive and focus on, because we do know that it's not everybody that has the requisite IQ to go to university, but some can still be equipped with technical skills. As a lawyer over the years, I've been involved in immigration practice and bringing in expatriates of clients, corporations into the country. And you find that over 70% of the expatriates that come to Nigeria to work in companies, all those big multinational corporations, oil companies, construction companies, they are not degree holders. Okay? But they acquire technical education that is strong enough to become supervisors, project managers, and project this and that here, and even supervising Nigerian qualified engineers. So that tells us the importance of technical education. You go to the oil and gas sector, you find deep water welding. That's an area that is scarce here. Woodwork is an area that is scarce here. And electrical works is an area that is scarce here. So we intend to revive the technical education, retool the curriculum, and make it available as an option for those our children who do not have the requisite IQ skills to go through university education, and to create an opportunity for them to also go for technical education and to acquire the requisite skills for that can make them readily available hands in the labor market. Health sector, my dear brother and brother-in-law, Bakaruna, yes, I've not yet spoken about the health sector. And because no question has touched on it. The health sector is a sector that we intend to give primary attention to. You see, our tertiary hospitals are overburdened, and they are too far away from the people. We want to take our state back to the use of primary health centers. Our intention, our plan, is to build, equip, and provide the manpower for primary health centers in each of the 192 wards in Edo State to bring health care closer to the people. Because a lot of the ailments that make people go to UBTH or Tiohai are matters meant for primary health centers. Just the way in UK, an average person will first go to the GP nearest to him or her for remedial action, and if need be, refer to a specialist and other kind of personnel. So we found that health care is very far away from our people. And our plan is to provide primary health center in each of the 192 wards in Edo State to bring healthcare closer to the people. Employ doctors and nurses there. Yes, a lot of doctors are moving out now, but there are ways we can provide doctors. We intend to sit down with the National Youth Service Corps to mandatorily post youth service doctors to the primary health centers. And then also approach those very successful medical doctors who are big hospitals to, as part of their corporate social responsibility, to do or post some of their doctors or even provide local services in such primary health centers pro bono for the benefit of our people. And also make sure that the primary health centers are manned with nurses. With that, the minutest things, catarrh, fever, will be dealt with at that level. And then, of course, we'll then move on to revamping our general hospitals. There were days when we had general hospitals in each of the 18 local government areas of the old Benja states. Now we have 18 local government areas in those states. And I can assure you most of those general hospitals are now moribund. We went to Akuku Edo, we found that the general hospital in Igara is largely decadent and only has one medical doctor. Some general hospitals don't even have doctors at all. These are things we need to deal with. And we know that because of disillusionment in our society, our doctors have been moving out of the country in droves and droves. Nothing anybody can do to stop that. But as a government, we plan to take care of the health sector in multidimensional ways, such that apart from the brick and mortar, building the primary centers and revamping general hospitals that are in every local government area, and then of course, ensure that each of the sectoral zones has a tertiary hospital, we intend to also invest in technology approach to health care delivery, equipment, and then the manpower. Because the reason our doctors and healthcare workers and nurses are living in droves is because their welfare system is not taken care of by those that have had the opportunity to manage the affairs of our state and our country over the years. And they have now been put in a state of hopelessness. So, and as a government, if we come into power by the grace of God, we intend to take care of all the aspects of the healthcare delivery and even the personnel, make life easier and better for them so that they can focus on the work and not motivated to go out. We had a session with the Edo State chapter of the Nigerian Medical Association, and we discussed all these things, and we're going to partner with them actively to rebuild the health sector in the state. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, sir. Can I ask, we have easily done just a little over 2 hours. How many more minutes left are you happy to stay with us? We are looking to round off about 11 o'clock. Is that okay?
That is fine by me.
or are you happy to stay till the midnight?
No, 11 o'clock, please.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I must say that it's really been engaging. We've easily done just a little over 2 hours. I must thank you very much. You've been really in tune, and our viewers have been so dynamic. I have 3 hands up. We're going to call you quickly. Remember the rules of engagement. Muyiwa Einlaye, get ready. Samuel Ugwema, get ready. And Shegu Ekun, get ready. Yeah. Muyiwa, please put on your camera.
Pharmacist.
Yeah.
Sorry, sir. May I interject? Just before Muyiwa will come on, I just want to say this one is from Brown tried to ask a question earlier, but because he didn't have his video on, so he did send the question over. So let me just ask that. Your Excellency, just take note. This one is coming from a Hige or Senege popularly known as Dr. Brown from Canada. And he wants to know, how will you work with the governor, if elected, to ensure that government projects are completed in good time? And he equally added an addendum to ask, what steps will you take to ensure transparency and accountability in government? Those are the two questions from Dr. Brown from Canada, sir. Over to you, pharmacist.
Thank you so much, Comrade Lantik Bonsai Iraqi. Your Excellency, did you get those questions?
Yes, completing government projects in good time, and then transparency and accountability government.
Yeah. Muyiwa Eyilaye, are you still with us? Can you put on your camera and ask your question or mute yourself? If Muyiwa is not there, do we have Samuel Ugwema? If Samuel Ugwema is not there, do we have Shegun Ekun?
Hello,
Shegun Ekun, can you unmute and ask your question? Let's see your face properly. Your camera is somewhat far away from you. Thank you.
Can
you see my face? Go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, Your Excellency. I'm Dr. Victor Shegun Ekun, and my question is on agriculture. Considering the current waves of farmers, herders issue in Edo State or in general Nigeria, how do you hope to support the farmers by way of policy formulation and implementation so that this food scarcity that we have currently can be ameliorated? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shegun Ekun, for your question. Muyiwa Eyilaye, are you ready now? I can see Asena Kolade. I think we've called you before, but if you want to ask another question, please go ahead. Asena Kolade. Muyiwa Asena Kolade, please. Do you have another question to ask?
Yes, I have another question. Thank you for the opportunity. My question is this. With our excellence, when you become the governor, will you intentionally develop the underdeveloped local government in order to reduce the pressure in the urban area so that people will not be jackpot to the state but have even opportunity in their local government? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Asena. I think you asked that question before. You've asked in a different way. Your Excellency, take note, it needs an answer. Muyiwa Eyilaye, are you ready?
I cannot unmute. Can you unmute me?
Okay, I will tell the back office to do that. Commelante will work on it.
Muyiwa, you are unmuted. Please put on your video and ask your question.
Muyiwa, you are unmuted. We need to see your face.
Okay. Can you see me?
No, we can't see you, sir. Your camera is not on.
I'm afraid I'm having problem with this camera, but please, I apologize if you all can hear.
Well, the rules is the rules. You can put your message on the chat. Evans? Okay, I'll come to Thompson Osadolo. You have a question before, but you can quickly ask one now. No long thing. Just go straight to
thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you very much. My question this time is about the service users. Service users. What will your government do to assist our brothers and sisters back home who buy petrol and diesel at an exorbitant rate, and yet the petrol dealers look for ways to teach them by expensive, and diesel is already expensive, and yet doing something mechanical to the meters, so which is giving them double suffering.
Okay, thank you very much, Thompson. I think the deputy governor got that. Thank God this deputy governor has not got petrol station, so he'll be very, very strict in dealing with that issue. Because deputy governor, this is the last round of questions as we walk up towards 11 p.m. I just want to ask, there's a very serious question on our chat. When will the manifesto of the Labour Party come out? If there's a manifesto already, why are we not having it? So, Your Excellency, you can take all the questions together as we wrap up. I can also see Prince Egbeomodio, your hands is up. It's just one straight question, please. Let's quickly take that so that I can answer everything together. Prince Egbeomodio, can you put on your camera and ask the question if it's not an old hand?
No, it's not an old hand.
Please, straight to the question.
Okay, straight to the question, because my question was not answered. I'm sorry, Your Excellency. My question wasn't whether Labour Party will join the violence. Your answer was very good in that regard, that we will not be partaking in that. My question was, how do we intend to protect voters? What do we intend to do to protect our votes against the violence that may be perpetuated? I use, very intelligently the word may be perpetuated against people that will prevent them from coming out to vote. Because a free and fair election, we know that Labour Party will win. How do we intend to consolidate our advantage? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I can see more hands. Do you want me to recognize 3 of them, or you just want to take all the questions together and we forget about other questions?
Pharmacist, I think we should.
I think let me take this one first.
Okay,
I've had a very...
let's take this one and see how it goes. If not, we can then fit in Samuel and Evans. But go ahead, Your Excellency.
Apologies, my dear compatriots. I really appreciate the excitement, and ordinarily I would be able to fire on, but we've had a very long day today. Olumide Akpata and I left Benin at 5 a.m. this morning to Auchi for some political meetings and back-to-back, and I had to rush in to join this session. So I think fatigue seems to be setting in. But pardon me. So let's take this one first. Yes, Shego Ekun's question about farmers, headers, food security, and how do we plan to introduce policies? I've spoken about this before, that the agricultural sector is a sector that we intend to take on head on. And number one, ensure that our farmers are able to go to their farms. We are going to rise to the occasion to discharge responsibility in line with the constitutional provisions, which says that the primary purpose of government is the welfare and security of the citizens. If we cannot, a government that cannot guarantee the welfare and security and safety of the citizens is not fit to be in office. So it's something we're going to take head on. And then, of course, partner with the farmers, provide them with requisite skills, tools. I made mention, I've already addressed this topic, so I'm just going to touch it in passing. Fertilizers, pesticides, equipment, encourage farmers to create cooperative societies that through which they can access funding from government through the produce board to support them with mechanical equipment and all the necessary tools, and then through the produce board buy off products from farmers and then sell at subsidized rates to the citizens so that food can be easily more affordable to the ordinary citizen, and then this issue of hunger in the land will reduce. And then also develop other value chains in the agricultural sector, food storage, food processing, animal husbandry, and then encourage private investors to come in to partner with the government, state government, under PPP arrangements to ensure that the farmers get value, and they get good value for the energy they spend going to the farms. So I dealt with all that earlier on. Then Dr. Brown, your question, completing projects in good time, transparency and accountability. Yes. One thing I want to assure Idolites, and Olumide Akpata, Asamah Kadiri government will not have abandoned projects. We will not have MOU projects that are not on the ground. That's the reason we are in this battle. Because when you have MOUs, and there is nothing to show, MOU plus MOU means it's mumu, and mumu don't do, we don't tire. we are going to ensure that there is transparency in the procurement and contracting process, and that contractors deliver on projects contracted to them. And I said earlier on that we tend to run an open and transparent government. In fact, apart from granting full autonomy to local government areas, permitted areas, we intend to bring the state government closer to the people. Our plan is not to have a governor that sits in Benin, far away from the people. We plan to create Edo State government liaison offices in each of the senatorial districts in Edo State. There will be government liaison office for Edo North in Auchi. There will be government liaison office for Edo Central in Ekpoma. There will be government liaison office for Edo South in Igobazwa. From time to time, the governor, or the deputy governor will go and work from outside of any of those government liaison offices. So you could come to the government house in Benin and you are told that, oh, sorry, for these next 2 weeks, the governor is working in Edo North. Because we want to bring government closer to people, and we want to be the type of government that will see for ourselves how our policies and programs are impacting on the people, and what the people are going through, and what are the needs of the people. And then we hold the local government accountable. We are going to grant local governments full autonomy, and will ensure that they are accountable. A local government chairman will not have any business residing in GRA in Benin City when he's supposed to be sitting in Igara working as chairman of a local government area. We are going to ensure the local government chairmen are going to be resident and domiciled in the local government where they are elected to serve, and they must work for the benefit of the people. So our mantra, our aim is to transparency and accountability, take it to a higher level of operating an open government that is closer to the people. Then Asana Kolade said, how do we develop the underdeveloped local government areas? I think my answer to the questions raised by Dr. Brown will also come into play here in helping to develop the underdeveloped local government areas. And then there are some, the fact there's really no local government that is overdeveloped in Edo State. With what we've seen, our experience from all the 18 local government areas we've gone through, I can tell you for sure that virtually every part of the state is yearning for development. It's just that different local governments have different layers of government they are yearning for. There are some local governments that seem as if they are not local governments in the true sense of it. So we tend to focus on that. And with the approach I said we're going to adopt, hold local government chairmen accountable, local government accountable, ensure that they deliver on their constitutional responsibilities, because the state government has the power to regulate the affairs of local government, and we're going to do that. Then as the state government will bring the seat of power closer to the people. By so doing, we'll be able to see better the needs of every part of the state. And we'll then be able to focus much more on area development needs and areas that we need to focus on to deliver on the expectations of the people. Then Thompson talked about dealers. I mean, diesel dealers and their nefarious activities. Well, this is beyond the state government. Regulation of the downstream petroleum sector, which also involves distribution of petrol and diesel, is in the hands of the federal government. Of course, as a state government, as a responsible government, we are going to ensure that our laws are enforced. We are not going to allow any person to exploit our people. If we find any infraction, whether of a federal regulation or a state regulation, we will move in to stem the tide and ensure that such nefarious activities are not done to exploit our people. So be assured of that. Then our manifesto. In fact, our manifesto is largely ready. It's not different from the things I'll be talking about, but we are just crossing the T's and dotting the I's. So in the coming days, I believe that it will be released to the public in the coming days, not too far away. Thank you.
Your Excellency, thank you so very much. I want to thank you for the time you've taken out to do this. And sir, I just want to add this quickly because you're going to respond to, we are aware that your principal, Olumide Osagbowakbata, will be coming to the UK, London and Manchester. I think I have this flyer to share. I want you to speak to this because I'm just going to ask you a question, on this. But just before that, let's take a listen to this.
Never, I dedicate myself to you, my people. The road rough, I know. That we shall stand.
Yes, Your Excellency, I just want to ask you this. That's just to have a little break there. Olu is coming to London and Manchester, sir. Do you want to speak to that? And for those who may not yet know, I just want to share this. Share some information on this. Where is it? I had this information somewhere here, isn't it? Just to keep. Well, sir, it's gonna be in London and in Manchester on the 26th in London and on the 27th in Manchester. Sir, do you want to speak to it?
Yes, very quickly, and not just London and Manchester. Point of information: we will also be having a town hall meeting. London town hall meeting 26th of July. Manchester town hall meeting 27th of July. Then on the 28th, we'll be in Rome, in Italy. We'll be having a town hall meeting there. And then Antwerp in Belgium on the 30th of July. So for those who are in other parts of Europe, continental Europe, that may want to either dash into Rome or dash into Antwerp, we'll also be coming over there this period. And then later in August, in transit, we'll pass by in Germany. So just piece of information. Yes.
What are we expecting, sir?
You're expecting a very, robust and interactive session with our diaspora brothers and sisters to sell the message of Olumide Akpata and Asamah Kadiri campaign and our mission statement on what we plan to do for those states. And touching on most of the things I've talked about, and then to put that in the consciousness of our brothers and sisters in diaspora, and then for them to hear from us. Yes, we're having a virtual session now, but beyond that, just to also have a personal touch, and then so that you can also, add all that to, speaking to your people back home here. And for those of you who may have the PVC that will be able to come home to vote, you hear from us directly at the horse's mouth. Okay, what our agenda and our plans and policy directions for our government, by the grace of God, when we come into office, will be for those states. So, in summary, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. On this occasion, I'm just trying to share the flyer, but for whatever reason it is, it's not really giving me that option per se. I don't know what is happening there, but we'll share that, or we'll
And
repeat
sorry,
that
sir.
on all
Sorry,
on
sir.
our handles. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna call on Bumi Idomu
Sorry, sir.
just you know how
Sorry,
you do it.
Lamte, Your Excellency want to say something, Lamte.
just additional piece of information.
Yes, sir.
I know that we have some of our brothers and sisters in North America here and some other parts of the world. We will also, although time is not permitting us, but we will also squeeze out time before the end of August to touch base in the US and possibly Canada, and to also speak with our people there. We intend to take advantage of the opportunity of the annual conference of ENA, Edo National Association Worldwide, to speak with our people in the US. And yes, so that for those of us in the US to know that we'll be coming to them as well. So we are not leaving anyone out. And before the election, we're coming over to sell our message.
Thank you very much. That's a wonderful piece of information. So the guys in America, the ladies, everybody, all the erudite personalities and those state people generally should be aware that this trip is coming to the US and to Canada as well. Sir, this one is not a question, it's just an advice. I don't know, I'm sure you are aware that there's huge advocacy right now for states and local government creation in some parts of the country. And so far, Edo State name has not been mentioned. I just want to make a humble appeal. When I look at a local government like Oredo local government, like a local government, like Oriomo, Oriomo we can carve out 3 more local governments from Oriomo, which is one of the largest in the country. Oredo can still be 2 local governments, Bobaca and all of that. So I just want to say that God willing, you guys are elected. Please, I would suggest that this be top on the agenda, because particularly now that local government is getting autonomy, I will suggest that advocacy for the creation of more local governments in Edo State is very, very important, and of course it's going to aid development.
Please, I will need you to also add Akoko Edo. As we speak today, Akoko Edo is the oldest local government area in Nigeria.
Yes.
Among the local governments we had as of 1963, is the only local government that has not been divided. Okay, so it's one of the oldest and largest local government areas. But again, for us, for us, when we do come in by the grace of God, and a part of our measures to bring government closer to the people, we intend to, not necessarily waiting for the federal, because it's with the way the Nigerian Constitution is, the process of creating local government areas has never succeeded since 1999, since the return to democracy. The local governments we have today were creations of the military. Because on the one hand, the Constitution says regulation of local government administration is the power of state governments. On the other hand, local governments are listed in the Constitution. Lagos State tried to create local governments in 2003, and they couldn't because the then government of Obasanjo blocked that from happening. Because when the state government creates local government, they are inchoate until they are listed in the Constitution. For them to be listed in the Constitution, you need 2/3 majority votes of the National Assembly. You understand? So if you are not in control of the National Assembly, you may not get that. But the smart way to bring governance closer to the people, and which we intend to do, is to adopt the approach of using the legal system to create local council development authorities. On that, so we have the 18 local government areas that we inherited from the military, foisted on us since 1999. The state governments have not been able to, but the state government, as is desirous of bringing governance to people, has the power to push a bill before the State House Assembly to pass a law for the creation of local council development authorities out of local government areas. All right? Lagos has done it and it's working well. It's part of what we have been telling our people, that in those very old, big, large local government areas where governance is very far away from the people, we will create LCDAs under the local governments so that the LCDAs will be like a replica of local government councils but without going through the hurdle of creating local government areas to bring, for the purpose of bringing governance closer to the people, bringing development closer to the people. Yeah.
Thank you very much. This is very, very reassuring. Thank you so much. Over to you, Bumi. Unmute yourself and, of course, give us a vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to start by appreciating Your Highness, Barrister Asamah Kadiri, SAN, our Deputy Governorship candidate for Labour Party Edo 2024. All other protocol observed. Thank you so much, sir, for making our time to be with us today. Thank you for staying so long with us. We know you've had a long day. Thanks so much for still making our time to remain with us and answering all of our questions. To be honest, the answers you've given us are quite reaffirming. They've reaffirmed your position and commitment to making Edo State better. Thank you so much, sir. And to every other person who has asked one or two questions, made comments, including the messages in our chat, thank you so very much for contributing to the session. All of your contributions are highly welcome, and we are glad that we had you all join us today. It was quite enlightening having you ask those sort of questions that helped us reaffirm where we stand. As it has been mentioned, we have events coming up this week and next week. Please, may I ask that everyone registers? We still have a few of you who have not registered. Please, everyone, register for the events, the town hall meetings we have coming up on Friday, the 26th in London, and 27th, we are coming to Manchester. And then we would be in Rome, as mentioned earlier, by the 28th, and Antwerp by the 30th. Later on, we'll go to the US and other cities. But thank you so much. All you need to do is just take about 15, 20 seconds of your time to please fill out the registration. Just complete it. Thank you. And the link, you can find the link in the chat or the ones for this week. Please just click on any of the links before the meeting ends, and you'll be able to register for the event. Once again, I just want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you to my host, Comrade Lamte, and Pharmacist Austin. Thank you so much, every other person. It's a good night from us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here, and good night, everyone. All right, bye.
Thank you very much, Prince Yusuf Asamah Kadiri, and I thank everybody who's been part of this. Pharmacist Iramira, God bless you so much. You guys are wonderful, and we're going to keep this engagement on, and hopefully we call again, and I shall hope that everybody will be present with us. May God bless you all, and have a good night.
Thank you.
Good night. Can we have our jingle?